So what did you find intriguing about holding the camera?
The ability to freeze time and preserve memory.
Being in certain rooms, and the only reason why I'm here is because I know how to operate the camera.
Hi, my name is Elozonam and you're welcome to Level Up. Today I have two very interesting guests, one of whom doesn't need an introduction. These guys told the line of photography and I'm about to introduce them. So to my right, we have a guy who does not need any introduction. He's probably taking a picture. You've probably seen him around in events. Tobbinator, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Great. And to my left, we have Joshua. Now, Joshua is an art director and a photographer, and he's been doing this since 2017. Joshua, how you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, so you guys told the line of photography. This is a skill set that I've seen you display. I've been in your pictures before. You have taken me. I've seen pictures of Lagos.
Yeah.
Bobo. So tell me something. When did you pick up the camera for the first time?
That's a long time ago. This would be 2004. Yeah, as far back as 2004.
Wow. Yeah. What camera did you pick up in 2004?
This would be Nikon F130. It's a film lens. A film camera. And then we had a Canon film camera as well. So.
Wow. So you started with film?
Yes.
Bro.
But I wasn't so serious about it. I wasn't taking it like in a professional way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my first foray into professional photography was 2007. Yeah.
It's still
a long time, yeah. I know.
So what did you find intriguing about holding the camera?
I think the ability to freeze time and preserve memory for, as long as possible was what I found intriguing, because when you go back and look at the pictures that you've taken, it's like as if you are able to relive the moment. And I just love the ability to do that.
So in 2007, were you still using film cameras or you moved to digital cameras?
No, I moved to digital camera. I had a Canon 1000D at the time. So yeah, it was pretty basic, but it was quite good. It was good enough for
its time.
Yeah, for its time, for the things that I needed to do, yeah.
Okay.
It was quite good.
So Josh, when did you pick up the camera for the first time?
For the first time, I'll probably say I can't remember, because my dad had a camera film when I was much younger. So that was like the first time I picked it up. But professionally, I picked it up 2011.
Sorry, I feel like all our dads had cameras.
Yeah.
Because my dad had cameras.
Yeah, I think that was the trend then, since there was really no mobile phones and they were not as advanced. So I saw the transition from film. I knew when he bought digital, I knew when he bought another digital. Yeah. And then, yeah.
So when did you take it seriously?
I decided to take it seriously 2017. I think service year just opened my eyes to it. Service year. I went for service year at Akwa Ibom, and camp was boring. I wasn't really in on marching or anything they were doing there, to be honest. So I found out there was OBS, and then they needed a photographer. And it was cool. I shot the governor. I felt like, oh, wow. And I could enter anywhere with the camera.
The governor of where?
Akwa Ibom State.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. We'll get into that.
Okay,
so Toby,
yeah.
How did you get into the business of photography? Because that's the part that, I think a lot of people would like to know.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because, we're in Nigeria where there's a lot of talented people, right?
True.
Doing different things, videography, cinematography, photography, business in general.
Yeah.
But the business side of things is where a lot of people miss the mark.
Yes.
You can be very creative and
that.
then you fall short in the business angle. And that's it will now turn into a hobby. So how did you get into the business of photography?
For me, I would say it was a transferred skill, right? Because before I became a photographer full-time, I was also a graphic designer and a web developer. So I had a couple of clients that I've had to deal with. And from that point, I knew that, I needed to figure out a way to charge these people. I knew that I was giving them something of value.
Yes.
Right? So that meant, there has to be something monetary attached to, the value that I'm giving to them. So this skill was something that got transferred into photography. And of course, with photography, you needed to know that you have to also come up with a system that allowed you charge for various things. So either you're charging for the value you're given, or you're charging for the time as well, and also the copyright or the rights for the images as well. So all these things were like something I learned along the line, being other people or being, you know, someone that had vast knowledge in other professions, and then I transferred it into photography. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you've taken a photo of the governor of Akwa Ibom. Which other big names have you taken?
That one was privilege. Like I said, I was a corporate then. So
Happenstance.
NYSC, yeah, happenstance. You know, NYSC, it was just the opportunity to do that. Okay, other big names I've taken. I've taken Alex Ikubor. I've taken, well, I'm still new, like I always say.
You're still fresh in the game.
I'm still fresh in the game. So, you know, I could have taken a couple of people, maybe just being behind the scene, but not like I was their official anything.
Unofficially.
Unofficially.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can I try to remember? Now, Shay Tunubu. It's because I do a lot of videos too. So I've taken, like, in my videos, I've taken Shay Tunubu, taken Obi Kubana, I've taken Joey Zaza. Just a couple of, at least I've been there with them, their houses, taking them. They probably didn't even know me.
Well, you're in the house, Sha.
Guys, scan the barcode on the screen to check your financial health. Courtesy of Leadway.
So we need to ask you this question. What big names have you taken?
You can. Huh?
What big names have you taken?
The list is long.
Besides me, but God.
I mean, I took your pictures 2 weeks ago, literally. So I would start with maybe celebrities. I shot the likes of Wizkid, Two-Face, Davido, Burna Boy, Tiwa.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the celebrities that you know I've probably shot. But outside of that, I've mostly shot corporate people. HNIs, and I mean, I can't start mentioning their names basically, but yeah, a number of corporate clients, some at GT Bank, some at MTN, Glow, and the likes as well. So the list is pretty long.
Would it be safe to say that because you are like apex at your craft, that's what opened these doors for you to be able to take all these big names?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because, well, maybe the name is sort of like an household name in a way, but also there still needs to be something that you're bringing to the table as well. So if you're able to deliver, and if you're able to, I'll still say it again, value, if you're able to add value to your clients and they know you are the person who can execute it, definitely. It would open doors for you. And I would say that's something that's opened doors for me across board, from being a photographer to a filmmaker to someone who flies drones as well. So definitely value.
Okay. Yeah. So, sir, what is your preferred form of photography?
Preferred form of photography. I like family photography. You know, it's not really, I think I just like the idea of it. I mean, I grew up in a family, and then
I was about to ask,
and a pretty big family. So that was like one of the beautiful times where you get dressed and everyone is ready to take that picture that will be framed. So I always like family photography, but one that pays the bills mostly for me is events. And that's why events is like, okay, so you have a wedding, you have a big event, a birthday. One would be cool, but the one that I just want to flow with, play with, family photography.
And to be you?
Nature, cityscapes.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
I've actually noticed, because you take a lot of drone shots of Lagos.
I mean, I have some on my chest. Can look
Please
at it.
should catch it.
Yeah, I can look at
Are
it.
these for sale?
Yes, you can actually order online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So your preferred form of photography is landscapes and nature.
Yes, right now. It's something I've always been, attracted to. And when drones started becoming commonplace, I made it like, a point to actually get one. Prior to that time, I would try to get access to high-rise buildings, the likes of Sterling Bank. And,
To take those
Yeah,
pictures?
to take pictures like that. I had a series called Miniature Lagos. If you go to my page, you probably see me posting some of things
Yeah.
like that now. You know, people say, oh, it looks like toys and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing the series back. But at the time, it was something that, you know, really piqued my interest. And I thought, okay, you know what? I want to show people what Nigeria, Lagos, and even Africa as a whole looks like. Because then when you Google Lagos, for example, you mostly see low quality pictures as opposed to something high quality,
Yeah.
clean, clear, you know, something that promotes tourism. You don't really get to see a lot of that. So back in 2016, 2017, I thought, okay, you know what? I want to change the narrative, and I got a drone and started taking pictures of Lagos and Africa, basically. So yeah, landscape does it for me now. Prior to that time, it was portraits, celebrities, and all of that.
Guys, scan the barcode on the screen to check your financial health, courtesy of Leadway.
So there's a difference between your preferred form of photography
Yes.
and
Commercial.
commercial form of photography, the one that pays the bills. So what pays the bills for you?
So what I love doing also pays the bill. So I think I've been able to find a balance between, you know, those. Like when I take pictures of landscapes or places, I get to frame them as well. And there are people who are interested in buying and hanging on their office wall, in their space, you know. Recently, I started a merch line as well, and people said, oh, you know what, I'd love to have your pictures on t-shirts. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's make it happen. And I started doing that as well. So different things, but if I were to say, you know, the core bill paying aspect of photography, I would say shooting commercials. Shooting commercials, working with some corporate clients as well. I mean, I produce, so every now and then I'll produce content for corporate clients and, you know, everybody else as well. So yeah, those pay the bills inherently, yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm coming to this question.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you both should answer, but let's start with you. In your career path, right, since you started, what has been, we have the highs and we have the lows. So let's start with the lows. What has been your lowest point engaging in this craft?
So I think one of my lowest points, since I can't mention all my lowest points, there are always lowest points, really. Yeah, at least I've had tons of lowest points. But I think one of my lowest points that has made me to almost quit photography was probably not too long ago, actually, not too long ago. I was editing a job and I wasn't just feeling it. And it spawned, I was like out of my creative zone for a long time.
Yeah, that happens.
Like a long time. And, you know, I had to talk to people about it, professionals, you know, and they were like, okay, you're in this space and it's more like, how would you get out of this space? So, but thank God, I'd say, thank God I got out of it. At the end of the day, it's not like I was feeling the picture, but I spoke to other creatives, mentors, and they were like, it just comes with the job. And
It does.
It just comes with the job. And funny enough, what you think is not it, I'm looking at it and this is amazing.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, I'm like, nah, this is not
Because
good.
you're too close to it as a creative. Yeah, you're too close to it as a creative. Maybe you have an idea of what it should look like, and it's not just sitting above. To the other person, like, oh my God, this is amazing.
So to my eyes, was like, so that's really low. And I mean low to the point that I was really going to dust up my CV and just pick up a 9 to 5, which I used to do before anyway.
That's pretty low, man. Because the person I left to 95, there's nothing I'm never going to a low point that would make me like, oh, let's go back to 95.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. So high points.
High points. High points is being in certain rooms and you're like, okay, I got here. And the only reason why I'm here is because I know how to operate the camera.
Yeah.
That's the only business I have in this room. You know, there was a time when I got a call from a friend, and funny enough, it's always funny calls. Like just, it's not like I planned it. It's not like I wrote a proposal. A friend just called me up and was like, oh, there's this business meeting in Ikoyi that you should, I can't make it. It stays on the mainland. So he was like, I can't make it. Do you think you can sub for me or something? And I was like, okay, fine. What's the pay? And he tells me, and I'm like, okay, at least you can do a bit. Next thing I'm in a room with very big business mongols in Lagos. Like it was a bank that had a meeting. I wouldn't mention their name definitely, but it was a very private meeting, private investors meeting. Like people that were there were big, were huge, and I was like, okay, the only reason why I'm here is because of the camera. If not, I wouldn't be in this space. So yeah, those were high points. High points were traveling. With camera comes a lot of travels. It can be fun, especially when I entered like a PJ sometime last year. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then also, like I said, really just going down to, I mean, even events. Events, I'm in front. I'm very much in front. I'm probably this close to Tiwa Savage or this close to, on a very good day, if I was walking, I can't be that close. They would bounce me. When you're with the camera, that's the only thing they're saying. They're not even, it's just the camera gives you access.
Yeah.
So that's it there.
Interesting.
Guys, scan the barcode on the screen to check your financial health, courtesy of Leadway.
So low points for you, Toby.
I would say maybe 2 low points. One was when I was shooting an event for, well, I'll have to mention the name because I can't talk about it without mentioning the name. Yeah. Okay. So I was shooting this event for Tony Elumelu Foundation, and the event had Emmanuel Macron. So I was like the photographer assigned to President Emmanuel Macron. And I got there pretty early in the morning, already started shooting. I was waiting for Mr. Tony Elumelu to come in as well. And my camera just stopped working. There and then. Yeah.
What? Wow.
Yes, it just didn't come on anymore. It didn't respond to anything. It just stopped working.
What did you do?
Nothing. It just died there and then. And I had to now start calling my friends, like, yo, who has a camera? Who has this? My own backup camera wasn't even close by. So I had to drive to like Lekki Phase 1. Shout out to my friend Funke. She had to lend me our camera, which wasn't even like a pro camera in the first place, but I had to find a way to like make it work. And yeah, so that's kind of like was very low because I was, well, I mean, I almost lost the job. Let's just put it that way. So, but I had to remedy it and make it happen regardless. And they still love the pictures. So then the second one would be during COVID. I mean, I'm sure everybody had that phase where they were like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen next? And, you know, photography is this, I would almost liken it to like a contact sport. Like you have
social.
to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's social, yeah.
So when COVID happened, I had to shut down my studio. You know, we had to like observe like the protocols and everything. Yeah. And it was there and then I was just like, okay, wait, am I going to be a photographer, you know, after now? Or like, what am I going to do next? Because then I started thinking about other things. And at that point in time, of course, I had to come up with other ideas on how to survive, you know, post-COVID.
Post-COVID, yeah.
Basically. So, but I'm happy I came out of it. And yeah, that was pretty much the 2 significant low points that I can come up with. High points are similar to like, you know, what is mentioned. I mean, I've been in rooms with HNIs, I think as far back as 2013, I was privileged to meet the likes of Dangote, shoot some celebrities. But I would say the biggest high point for me would be to see my works being used by people or being appreciated or being consumed as well.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like my first work on a billboard. It was like, wow, you know, to me. But then I'm like, people don't even know that I did that. you know.
Yeah.
But still, to me, when I look at it, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is my work, and I would want my work to continue to be something that, you know, gives other people joy, or gives me joy, or gives somebody some sort of feeling as well. So yeah, for me,
Did you
that
take a
would be
picture?
that.
Did you take a picture of the billboard?
Yes, I did. It was Sprite. It was for Sprite. That was like my first major billboard.
Make noise about your work.
It
Make
was,
noise about your work.
yeah, it was on Surulere, you know, like the stadium. They're like a set of buildings, and there's no way you'd miss it. Like you would always just see it. So I literally entered a bus, went there, took a camera. I was like, yeah, I did that. Took a picture of it, and then kept it. So, but since then, you know, I've had my works in magazines, even though people don't really read a lot of magazines now. But yeah, I have my works literally everywhere, on the internet, on people's phones, in people's houses, in their
unavoidable,
space.
Sha.
Yeah,
Actually
so-
unavoidable. I think that's how you measure, or that's one measure of success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is very key, right? Right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there who struggle with, you know, finding themselves and finding how to really like chase their dreams. They want to be this, they want to be that, they want to be photographers, cinematographers, actors, whatever it is, creatives and everything. But they don't know what to do to start out. They all I hear people, lots of people say if they have equipment and everything. So to somebody who's just starting out, who wants to live that dream and make money from it, how would you advise them to go about it?
Well, there are several ways to go about it. But for starters, I would say you need to be inspired first, right? You need to be inspired by different things, people, your environment as well. You need to have something burning inside you that would actually push you towards wanting to, like, you know, actualize that dream, right? So once you get to that point, then every other thing is like secondary. Secondary in the sense that the world is very close now. You can literally pick up your phone and send somebody a message on Instagram, and the chances of them responding is very high compared to like when you send an email or just give them a cold call.
Yeah.
Right. So you can send messages to people that you admire, and they can be like the mentor or guidance, or like, you know, they can even put you on that, you know, their tutelage, for example.
Yeah.
But for me, I would just say, you know, nurture that, you know, dream for starters. Reach out to people that are like, you know, in that field as well. See how you guys can relate, you know. Don't just say hi, just type, you know, put in the message, tell them the reason why you're, you know, contacting them. And don't just do one person. Reach out to like multiple people, you know, because I mean, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So reach out to multiple people, see how you also, as a person, can add value to them as well. Because, you know, in the end, everything is about exchange. You know, so somebody can bring you under their wings if they know that you as well can contribute something. You never know what they need, but you can actually batter something. You could be very good at writing, and they're not, and then they're looking for a writer. So you can say, hey, you know what? I'm a photographer, a budding photographer, a budding creative. This is what I do, but I would like to, you know, work with you, or I would like you to put me through so and so. But I know how to do so and so. I know how to use the camera, or I know how to write, I know how to do copywriting, I know how to, you know. So used to bring something to the table. That way you have like some sort of, you know, synergy between you and the person that you're looking to like.
I think what you said is really important in the sense that I've gotten a lot of DMs from people who want to be in my stuff, who want to, but they never want to add value. They never want this. It just, I want to be in your stuff.
They want to
so
take.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you get how would you add value to what I am doing?
Yeah.
Are you gonna produce? Are you gonna write something? Why should I? Do you get?
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of people don't know this. If you're gonna approach anybody who you want to learn from, or who you want something from, you have to be able to offer something in return.
Yes,
You have to
that's
give them a
correct.
reason why they would work with you, is this always there always has to be an equal exchange, something of value.
Yep.
So Josh, is there anything you want to ask Toby, who's a superstar?
Yeah, true. All right.
So
Okay. So, funny question.
Yeah. Go
Funny
for it.
question.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't have a camera
Oh,
on
okay.
my own.
Yes.
I actually traded out my last camera, and I want to get one.
Yeah.
What would you suggest is the best camera I can get right now?
I would suggest an EOS R8.
I can't afford that.
So a camera, a budget camera that's also, what about an EOS RP?
Yeah, you can do an RP.
An RP?
For a start.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do an RP. But again, well, RP has like, a bit of both. R8 is sort of like the one above RP if you're looking to do professional stuff. RP would also give you professional stuff, right? But it's more geared towards photographers as opposed to videographers. So you might not really get a lot of the video, features out of it.
Guys, scan the barcode on the screen to check your financial health. Courtesy of Leadway.
Okay, and one more question.
Yeah.
How do I get from sitting here, sitting there?
Well, you can stand up. And I would exchange.
You know what he means.
Yeah. I would say you need to be consistent, right? You need to be very consistent. You need to show up also. And you need to also be someone who is ready to reinvent themselves over and over and over. I would say I've lived many lives, so people know me for different things, right? So some people knew me as maybe the guy who took portraits. There was a time I was shooting mostly beauty-related stuff. There was a time I was shooting food, like if you buy Indomie, like I had like my pictures on Indomie, like things like that. But the truth of the matter is, as a creative, you might find yourself getting bored, quickly. I get bored of doing the same thing over. So I love challenges. So you should be somebody who loves to take on challenges that would improve you as a person and then improve your work also. So that way you become, very, very, very good at what it is that you do. Also, you might have to be a people person too. I'm not the best people person.
I'm not a people person.
Most creatives are not.
I'm not a people person.
I'm not the best at being a people person. I mean, half of the time you probably wouldn't see me smiling at, people. But when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. I communicate with people. I know how to relate with people, especially people that I know are holding on to the cash that I want, basically. So, and also it's a thing where if you find yourself in the midst of billionaires, what are you going to do? What kind of conversation are you going to be having with them? So yeah, you never know. Like you said, you found yourself in a room where there were like a lot of, decision makers, right? What would you be contributing when you find yourself in a place like that? Would you be starstruck? Would you be like, okay, I don't know what to do, and you freak out, So that's where like communication and being sort of like a people person can, help you like improve. But definitely, if you're able to take all these things together and you practice as well, and you're consistent at what you do, definitely you will be sitting on this chair.
Consistency.
Thank you.
Or you can come to this restaurant.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
All right. So, any more questions?
Let me see. Any more questions? Actually, I'm a huge fan of.
Oh.
I'm actually a fan right now. I'm a huge fan of
Thank you.
Tobbinator.
I appreciate
I
it.
mean, I went down. I discovered him last year, just going through.
You discovered Tobbinator last year.
Yeah, last.
Wow, bro.
Like I said, I'm not a people. Like
Yeah.
not people. Like I don't know. But then again, I now realized I've always known his work. I just didn't know the face.
Yeah.
I've always known his work. Like I mean, he worked in agency. I worked in agency sometime, and then, I mean, I've always known his work. It's just the face didn't just. I couldn't just place a face to the work until last year, and I realized that he's an Egbon in the industry. I'm permit me to say that he's an Egbon. Like I mean, rooms that I have not smelt. He has walked through them. He has
slept in them.
put them behind him and all. So if I'm going to ask another question, it will be,
Yep.
he has already given me a lot of advices in terms of how to pursue the dream, how to be focused, how to be determined. Right now, I shoot Nikon.
Okay.
I shoot Nikon. But
Let's cross the camera.
and I've always shot Nikon. I've shot Nikon since 2011, if at all, when it comes to camera.
Yeah.
If I'm going to transition right now, I'm
Yeah.
thinking Sony. I'm actually thinking Sony.
Well, Sony is good, but I've always been a Canon person.
Yeah.
Canon is just
Canon is
there's just like
Canon is
an ecosystem.
I have a
for
feeling once I
Canon.
enter Canon, that's
you
the
can't
end.
go, you can't
I'm
come
not,
out.
I'm not coming out.
You cannot come out.
Yeah, I mean, I can go on and on about it, and we won't leave here. But yeah, definitely Canon. I'd also say Canon because they're like, accessories. People readily make accessories for Canon. You know, you can literally rig almost anything. In fact, if you have like a low entry Canon camera, you can still match it with some of the like high-end ones as well. That's just how good maybe like the camera is or the color science or what's coming out of it can be, I mean, you might have to be good to make it work, but you can't do that with a Nikon, and yeah, you need to come to the
Transition
Canon
from
side
the Canon side.
of life. It's not free advert for Canon. They need to pay us.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you guys for coming through and thank you guys for sharing
Thanks for
as
having
well.
us. Yeah.
You guys, you've heard from the maestros, My name is Elozonam and this has been Level Up. Stay tuned for the next episode.